Lee, can you open this one?
No. I like Daddy.
You want Daddy to open it?
Here, come here. Pull that out. No, here. Just grab a hold of it. Pull it. There you go. No, just grab the. Pull.
You want to see how it
I
works?
don't even know what that is, do you? You want me to open it?
Hey guys, so it is Tuesday. It's the Tuesday after Christmas. I had a really good Christmas. I hope you guys did too. We had a busy one, but it was really good. Sorry if the lighting's not great in here. It's like getting dark and anyway, and this little guy just woke up to join me. So I did want to talk about today how our Christmas went with a toddler. So it can be really overwhelming, obviously. And I'm not saying this is going to work for every person, but our Christmas went really well. And there was a few things I made sure to do or take out of our Christmas routine for the 2-year-old. So I want to share those for you guys so that you can use them for your holidays with your toddlers to make it so there's less meltdowns. Christmas Day we did not have any meltdowns, and that is impressive because there's a lot going on. One of our Christmases, the first one, we had about 8 people over our house in the morning, and then we went to my aunt's and there was about 25, so there was a lot of people and a lot of stuff going on, and we did really well. He did great. So granted, he knows most of the people, but some of the people he doesn't know that great, so I have my little notes because we're all getting over being sick too. So one of the things I made sure was just not to overwhelm him. Basically that has to do with presents. Everyone got him a million presents, and he was really excited to open every single present, which is shocking. He almost didn't care what was in the present, but he'd say yay every time he opened a present and then wanted to open another one versus play with the toy. So that's kind of surprising. Some kids I know just want to open it and play with a toy. Let them. Who cares if it takes them all day? Who cares if you have to bring unopened presents home? But if you take away a toy that they want to play with right then and there, it's not going to go well. You're going to have a meltdown. So just be prepared to either take your time or let them play and skip them and go to other people with presents and things like that. Just don't overwhelm them and don't have people putting gifts in their face over the present they're opening and things like that. It's just not worth it. So that went really well for us. He opened a lot of presents. Excuse me. He opened a lot of presents. He took breaks in between, but he was rapid fire. He just wanted to keep opening. So that worked out well for us. But then I talked to my girlfriend and she said that her son wanted to play with every toy opened. So every kid's different. So just keep that in mind. Then we also had I made sure people stayed out of his face. Again, a lot of things going on, having things put in front of him, put in his face, and just made sure that he kind of had his personal space. And if I felt like it was getting overwhelming, I'd just like say, let's go do this, or take him out of the situation and kind of change the subject so that he wasn't feeling overwhelmed with people, because then someone's going to get hit in the face. It's just the way it goes. So that's pretty much the don't overwhelm the toddler segment. So the next thing I want to talk about was nap taking. So he's like in between. He takes naps some days. Today he didn't take a nap. It just depends with him. If you can, Christmas they should take a nap, or like rest time, something. If it's in the car, great. Don't wake them up if you can. Let it be like at least a half an hour nap, just to like recharge their batteries. If you're going place to place, especially. He took a 2-hour nap, which I didn't want longer than that, so I went up and woke him up after 2 hours, or just kind of like, made him start waking up. And it worked out really well. And you know what? He took a nap, like with the 25 people at Christmas. I think he went up to take a nap when we were like 3/4 of the way opening presents, but he was all done opening presents and he had gone off to do something else. So I let him take a toy with him to nap time or whatever he wanted. But just that rest time, he needed it, you know, and let them do it. It's important for their batteries to recharge so we don't have meltdowns. Because meltdowns are terrible, and in front of people they're even worse because you know they're judging you. You just know it. You know they're thinking things and they're judging you, and then sometimes you're at your wit's end anyway, so it avoids you overreacting as well. So just give them a nap if you can. Alright, so this has to do kind of with number one, but the opening of the gifts. So same thing. Because there was 25 people, he wasn't opening gifts the whole time. He wasn't going to have gifts to open the whole time. So I didn't bring him into the room where we were doing gifts. I didn't bring him into the room that we were opening gifts until I knew he had some gifts to open, because that patience thing is not in a 2-year-old's vocabulary. So I made sure he had some gifts to open, and then when he didn't have gifts to open, I'd let him help me with mine. And then again, if he needed a break, I'd just let him stop opening gifts because it really didn't matter that much. You're gnawing on my hand. Want your pinky back a little bit? And you know, some adults wanted him to help them too, so it worked out really well. Same thing, you can either do it all at once or bring some unwrapped gifts home. Make Christmas last a couple days, who cares? Or you can open them later, you know, it's not a big deal. Especially to a 2-year-old, it can last for a week, they don't really know. So that's the opening gift suggestions that I have for you. Make sure they eat, and make sure they eat something good. You know, it's a special day. There's candies and cookies and everything else out all day long. They can still have those treats as long as they're not allergic, or you know, they do pretty well with sugar. Some kids, they can't have a lot of sugar because they'll go off the walls. That's most kids, but or they'll get sick. And you know, as a mom, it's hard to monitor them with all the family around. They all think they're being the good guy by giving them a extra piece of chocolate or whatever. So just make sure they're eating the good stuff too. And if you can monitor a little bit, you know, just step up. I know it's hard to tell like other adults in your family sometimes no or whatever, but remember, you're the mom. If you don't want them to eat any more junk, you're the one who has to deal with it later when they're throwing up or can't sleep. So keep that in mind, and make sure they have a couple good meals that day, hopefully at least 2, 3. And then, you know, they can have snacks and stuff like that. So make it a special day, but also keep with some of the regular eating habits that you have, just for their own sake and your own sake. Stick with your usual punishment system. You know, some people spank and some people put time out, your kids in time out. Some people just reprimand by yelling or whatever. Not saying what I'm doing honestly right now. I'm not going to get into that today on Facebook. I mean, YouTube. But what I will say is that Christmas Eve, he had to have a decent punishment because he was going around and around, running around, not listening to me at all. And you know what? That's not going to happen. I still need to have control of my son, and he's not able to make those decisions of, you know, how he can act out and things like that. So Christmas Eve was a little bit rough, but Christmas Day, you know, same thing, stuck with my usual, you need to listen to me, and if you don't, there will be a consequence. And it's hard because I know that I had people, a couple people overstep me and try and say something different, and you just have to stick with your guns and either say, nope, that's not okay, you know, don't make it a big deal. Because if you make it not a big deal, but you just continue with the child, then they'll focus on you. Another thing about that is if there's too many people barking orders at the child, the 2-year-old, the toddler, however old they are, they're going to get overwhelmed, and that will cause a breakdown. They'll get overwhelmed. They're not going to know which person to follow the rules. So as the mother or father, you need to overrule and just set an example and show the child exactly what you need them to do. Be very clear and kind of, you know, the best way that you can overrule the other people. Again, at the end of the day, it's your child and you need them to behave the way that you can get them to behave. Now, all said and done, it might have been luck that we didn't have any breakdowns on Christmas, but we didn't, and we had a very enjoyable day. He was a good boy all day long.
And so were you. You're cranky sometimes, huh? A little cranky. Just a little bit.
But, you know, that's some of the things that we did, and I think they honestly helped. Before Christmas came, I kind of had a schedule out as to what we were going to do for my own sake as well as the kids' sake. I knew what we were doing, where we were going, help me organize presents, know what clothes I needed for the kiddos, how many diapers, things like that. So that's another suggestion I have pre-Christmas, is kind of make a plan. You know, honestly, the less places you have to take them, the better, for your own sake, for their enjoyment. We actually didn't go to our last Christmas that night. We were supposed to go... Oh my. We were supposed to go to one more place, and we didn't end up going because he was doing so well, it was getting late, and I was like, I do not want to ruin this streak right now. So, think about things like that. You know, it's just, you want to make it enjoyable for everyone, including yourself. So, there's some tips for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, and I'll have some more Christmas stuff, after Christmas stuff, coming up soon, and I'll talk to you all soon. Subscribe if you enjoyed this vlog, and again, I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great Happy New Year.